What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ra T. I'm back with another episode of Recovery with Ra. For today's episode, I wore my man from Breaking Bad, Walter White. I figured it's only appropriate since today I'm going to talk about how my parents found out that I was using and I was selling drugs. And this story is not for you guys to go try at home. It's not for you guys to get anything except maybe a laugh, a little bit of knowledge, and a little bit more about my story with drugs and this whole, you know, revolving door, man. Anyway, I was about, this was 2005, March 5th, 2005. At this point in my life, you know, I was selling bud, I was selling pills, and I was just chilling at home. And you know, I got a call. I got a call from my boy, and he told me, where have you been? I've been trying to get a hold of you for like forever now. Like, where the hell have you been, man? And I told him, listen, um, I just got out of the hospital, bro. I don't know, I caught like a virus or something like that. So I ended up, I looked, my face was very white. I looked very sickly and stuff like that. I got checked into the hospital. I was very fatigued. Turns out I was dehydrated. So they gave me like 3 IV, like full IV bags and stuff like that. And, they told me to stay hydrated. So, couple, 10 blocks down from my house, there was a Walgreens. So I remember saying to the kid, listen, man, I didn't really plan on going out or seeing anybody today, to be honest with you. I'm not feeling good at all. But if you can get to the Walgreens, you know, before I get there and get back, then I can see you. If not, then my bad, bro. But you gotta understand, I'm just not feeling it today. He's like, yo, there's no problem. I'm already in your area. I was driving around hoping I'd see you run outside, thinking something was wrong with your phone because it's off. It's never off and stuff like that. You know. So, I told him, all right. So he's like, so you want me to meet you up at the Walgreens? I said, yeah, man. Which is a very bad idea. First off, if you're going to sell pills or anything like that, because that's like the number one spot that people go. They just fill their prescriptions. So as soon as they walk out of that joint, they have people meet up with them. Boom, 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 boom. The whole prescription's gone, done. You know. So it was just stupid to even do that. But I wasn't thinking clear, man. I wasn't thinking anything of it. It was so, when you're in that like life of selling and using or whatever, you're not really thinking too smart. And on top of that, I was sick, man. I wasn't really thinking about like it was such a usual common thing to just, hey, what's up, bro? See you later. All right, later, bro. Like 1, 2, 3. I wasn't thinking of it like that. So, um, you know, I didn't say anything to my family. I used to have I used to live downstairs. I had, my room, my studio, all that, my music studio, my room, everything was downstairs. And, as far as my family knew, I was downstairs, man. So, I went upstairs, I walked right out the door, jumped in my car and left. And I brought, a good amount with me in this little like jar, like kind of like this, like one of these little things. And I brought some with me. I didn't know how many he wanted. I didn't really want to ask on the phone. So, I just went and I brought some with me. So, I went there, right? And I go and I see my man is parked and it's my boy. He wouldn't set me up or anything like that. It's not, I've known this kid for a long time. He's a good kid, man. He was actually going to try to be a cop down the line, to be honest with you, man. Like, he was a good dude, you know? Like, it wasn't like that. But, anyway, um, so I get there, right? And, there's two cars right here, okay? I'm gonna do it like this. There's two cars right here. There's a fence right here. So, there's the two cars, and then there's the empty space, and then there's my boy right here. So, and he's faced like this, like the fence. If the fence is face is like right here, he's parked backwards, so he could see everything, the parking lot. So that leaves me to pull in, so I could just hand window to window. So I just pulled in like that, you know. So it's the four of us like this. So it's him, he could see everything. Me, I'm in this way. Then there's two other cars like this. So it's kind of like that. All right. So he could see everything. Two cars right here, both sitting there, and me right here. Now this car, it was so tinted you couldn't really see anything. This car, I didn't even pay no mind to. It didn't even look like anyone was in there. And it's my boy. And plus, I'm not really looking out crazy. I just went in, scoped it for a second, it looked fine, you know? So now I'm going, and I say, yo, what's up, bro? You know, give him the stuff. And as soon as I hand him the stuff and he hands me the money, I look in my rear view mirror, my side mirror. I see a van door open up, and I see the chain, like the NY, you know, that it was not NYPD. I live in New York, so I say NYPD. But it's it wasn't just a regular Suffolk County cop. These guys came like SWAT, bro. It was like the heroin task force. Turns out that these guys, you know how I told you that there were four cars? Me and my boy, we were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Turns out they were watching these two guys because one out of these two was a huge, big time heroin dealer in our area. I found that out later in jail. Um, so they come out, and their guns are drawn, all that. They come like a pack of wolves, man. These guys were ready to go. They were just waiting for this to happen. And they went on my cue, even though they hit like a home run today. They were only expecting one, instead they got two. Like that was a good score for them. So I remember sitting there and I'm like, oh, shoot, man, like I can't believe it. Like this is, oh my God. So I had his stuff, I had the extra stuff on me, and you can't run, you're stuck. I can't drive away, you're done. So I was just sitting there, and the gun comes and he puts the barrel of the gun to my forehead. So I'm sitting there just like this in the car, and my window's down, and he goes like this, and he says, if you move, I will blow your effing face off. So I'm standing there and I'm like this. And now I hear my other side open up, but I can't turn my head because if I move, his hand might go off. Cops do that kind of stuff. It happens. So, this guy opens my passenger side door and he says, turn your effing car off. And he's cursing at me and stuff like that. But if I was to reach, maybe this guy over here in my head would think I'm reaching for something and blam, so I was listening to this guy over here. He's the one with the gun on my head. So since this guy told me to turn the car off, and I guess I didn't, listen and comply with his command, next thing I know, he went boom, pistol with me with the bottom of that gun. There was no way he could have punched me. You know the difference with that. You know the difference between a pistol and a fist, man. As soon as he hit me, this guy opened the door, so my whole top half of my body fell out the car. My feet are still in the car. I'm getting stomped out, man, and I like flash unconscious for a second. I'm back on when I came back was when they picked me up and slammed me on the front of my car, and I'm sitting there like this, and I'm looking, and they're beating up my friend too. You know, it was so crazy, man. And anyway, we're in the car, separate cars and stuff like that. I remember we went down to the station, and I see, I'm sitting there tied up like this to a desk, and I see my boy, he's in like a different row, and he's with his head down, and he's like kind of crying and stuff because, he wanted to be a cop, and he feels like his life is ruined and all of that. And, he's sitting there, and I'm like, yo, just don't say nothing, bro. Just keep your mouth closed. Don't say nothing, bro. They have nothing. Don't say anything, bro. Like, out in the open, there's like 15 people in there that day. This is just a precinct. This wasn't like the big, CI or Riverhead Jail just yet. So, you know, time goes by or whatever, and I tell them like, yo, man, I have to make a phone call. My parents think I'm downstairs, yo. I'm like, you don't understand. I have to make a phone call, man. I kept bugging them and bugging them, and finally I made that phone call, man. And I pick up the phone. I call my house. I call my mom, and I'm like, hello. They're like, hello. I'm like, hey, mom, it's me. They're like, why are you calling me for? Where are you? Aren't you downstairs? I'm like, no, I'm in jail. They're like, jail? What? Like, you're in jail? What the hell did you do? So I'm telling them like, yo, they said that, I'm trying to play it off, man. I'm like, you know, they said that I was selling drugs and, this and that. I just want to let you know I'm here. Can you, handle this for me? Do this, do this, do this. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I'm just letting you know. Don't worry, I'm here. I'm gonna figure it out. If I get a chance to call you again, I will. But, blah 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 blah. Man, so, you know, they gave me the whole court date. They arrested me. I've never had anything prior. Um, you know, my boy did what he had to do, I guess. And you know, when I got picked up out of there, um, it was messed up, man. It was messed up. I can't remember, to be honest with you, if that was the time that they took me from there. Nah, that was the time they took me right out of the precinct and let me go home. They left me with court date, and that's when I had to get the lawyer and stuff like that. But um, that's pretty much when my parents found out, that I was selling and using and all of that stuff because um, the lawyer was telling them, stuff to that, you know, a sale charge is worse than a possession charge. So he was saying if you can tell them that it was yours and whatever, and you're using and it was to help your habit, then we could take this a different route and they'll give you a lighter sentence and stuff like that. So I told my parents like, all right, yeah, that's that's what it is. So we went down that route, and you know, I did a little bit jail time. I did probation, and then that was it. But that must have been a crazy call on the other end. I could just imagine seeing my mother's face, man. But anyway, I'm just telling you guys this, man, just so you guys could kind of keep up with what's going on. That was the first time of how my parents found out that I was using, and that um, I got arrested or went to jail or anything like that. So anyway, I just wanted to say, man, with this drugs comes jails, death, institutions. I told you, jail is one part, and it comes with a lot of pain. I put my family through a lot of pain, man. Those cops, they treated me like I was a murderer or something, man. Like they had no mercy, no mercy. The point is, drugs, don't do them, man. It could only lead to bad stuff like this. It could only lead to jails, death, and institutions. It's a revolving door. Anyway, now that you got a little bit more of I tried to make it, light and a little comical, but there's really nothing funny about it. Nothing, cool about going to jail. Nothing cool about getting arrested or putting your family through that or anything like that. So my point is, guys, don't do drugs if you can't stay away from it. If you know anyone that you see going down that road, show them this video, man. Talk to them. Try to open their eyes before it's too late. Prevent it from happening before you have to fix it after it's already happened. It's pretty much all I wanted to say. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode. It's your boy Ram signing out. I'll see you guys soon on another episode of Recovery with Ra. Peace, man.